Do you know how Oliver Stone has a message in his movie, and he pounds you in the fucking face with his message?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Platoon. War sucks!
Did you not understand?
Born on the 4th of July. Homeless veterans! Right?
Right.
This here was feminism! This makes my fucking vag ache.
Welcome to the Two Gaming Dudes, and I know you can't wait to hear what we, of all people, think of the Barbie movie.
We took the wives just 18 hours ago. I don't know what this movie was. I don't know what to make of this. I've never seen a film with more mixed messages, contradictory messages, sometimes within the same scene.
Yes. Click subscribe. Don't forget to do that.
It's not a kid's movie.
No.
This is not what I was expecting.
No, and I think that's like a big thing. This is not what anybody was expecting. And I really think that comes down to the marketing.
Yeah, fucking assholes.
This was marketed one way, and it's definitely not that. It is something else entirely.
All the promotions made me think this was the Lego movie. The Lego movie. The real-life Lego guys have to come to the real world and they have an adventure.
And for the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought that's actually what it was going to be.
Barbie has to come to the real world and have an adventure. And it's a funny fish out of water because she doesn't know how to behave in the real world and she makes embarrassing mistakes and it's funny.
Right. I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. I saw Smurfs.
Yeah.
So we're running into Neil Patrick Harris at some point. Okay, I get what this is going to be.
It's not that.
It is not that.
It's not that. Do you know how Oliver Stone has a message in his movie, and he pounds you in the fucking face with his message?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Platoon. War sucks!
Did you not understand?
Born on the 4th of July. Homeless veterans! Right?
Right.
This here was feminism!
But it didn't start that until until Act 3. So you get through Act 1, and you're like, okay, so this was going to be something like the Lego movie, but now it's not, but I'm still laughing at it. I thought it was kind of funny.
You did?
Yeah. In the beginning, like the first third of the movie, I thought, this is kind of funny. I laughed at some of the jokes.
I'm high as a kite the whole time. And the thing I found funniest about the whole thing is how I mispronounced tortilla chips.
Because the lights go down and the starting credits start showing up, and I just hear over here to my side, crunch, crunch, crunch. What are you eating?
Tortillas chips! And that to me was hilarious.
And it was hilarious. And then everybody else thought it was hilarious when I said, God damn it. And then boy, they were just cracking up at every time you went, shut up. And
But listen, no, this is...
Okay, let me get through my thing, because the first third, I thought it was kind of cute.
I disagree, but okay.
The second Act 2,
yeah,
they started hitting on these little messages and points that made me think that this wasn't going to be a bad film. It wasn't good, but it wasn't going to be a bad film. The whole moment between her and Ken when he took over the dream house, and it was like this whole, how does it feel? How does it feel to be the one that's ostracized, the one that's shut out?
And you're thinking, that's going to make her realize, equality.
Yes, that's going to make her realize, I've been selfish. I'm always thinking I'm better than you. Now you think you're better than me, and both are wrong. We need to meet in the middle.
That didn't happen.
And then Act 3, which starts with this long-winded feminism speech that I think I gagged once or twice during it. It was frustrating. I hated it. I hated that stupid, like right out of She-Hulk speech.
So America Ferrera, who I love, and I can't help but compare her character in Superstore, who is a single mom struggling, and in this she plays a married mom, but still struggling. How much better her character in Superstore was at delivering the positive message.
Yes.
Instead of this dumb bullshit here.
I also hated the message because as she's saying some of these things, and she's like, oh, what it's like to have a boss who's, above you and you have to struggle all the time. Like, you're not talking about women. You're talking about people. You're talking about everybody. So why do you think this is exclusively women?
Well, that's what that entire speech was her complaining about how hard it is to be a woman. Because you want to be beautiful, but you don't want to be too beautiful. And you have to be skinny, but you don't want to be too skinny or else you get fat, but you don't want to be too fat. And you want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be too aggressive. And you want to be promiscuous, but you don't want to be too promiscuous. You don't want to be slutty or prudish. Some people call that having balance in your life. Something that evidently modern women can't fucking do. Have balance in your fucking life.
And it sounds...
Every human struggles with finding balance in your fucking life.
It sounded to me like she was addressing everybody.
Stop fucking whining. Get your shit straight. Find some fucking balance. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you get what we're getting at, right?
Let's go to the beginning.
All right.
It starts off in the Barbie world. And this is going to touch on later. What's really destroying the country?
Is it Barbie?
It's not
Barbie? No.
Everybody from every side of the political spectrum agrees that the United States is decaying and falling apart.
Right.
There are 100 reasons for it. One major reason is suburban pretentious white women. It's not Mexico.
No.
It's not China.
No.
It's not the gays or the trans or any of that shit. It's suburban pretentious white women. We'll get to that later. Okay,
we'll get to that.
So in the Barbie world, everything is Barbie and everything is wonderful.
Right.
All the Barbies are represented. And the Kens are there too, but are treated like second-class citizens.
Yes.
Their only purpose is to get attention from Barbie. And when they don't, they're devastated.
Right. And you get to see with the Barbies and where they live. And at one point, they're like, where the hell do the Kens live? I don't know.
And they don't even have a place
to
live.
They don't have a place to live. They know they're all homeless.
All the Barbies are Nobel Prize winners and Supreme Court justices and president of the United States. And the Kens are kind of there as well. And they live on the beach or something.
Yes. Well, one of the main Ken, what's your job? Beach. Because he's Beach Ken. Oh.
And one day, Barbie starts having these intrusive thoughts of death. And she gets cellulite on her ass, and her feet go flat instead of pointy like on heels. And she has to go to the weird Barbie. And a Barbie becomes weird when a kid in the real world plays with them too hard. So her hair is cut, and she's got marker all over her face. She's weird Barbie. And that made me think of me playing with my sister's Barbies.
Right.
69 in them and scissoring them. So somewhere in the Barbie world is a bunch of fucking perfect blonde Barbies scissoring each other and the crippled Barbies in the wheelchair egging them on in the corner.
That's nothing compared to the Barbies in my horrific dystopian world. Because they ain't got no limbs.
Because Transformers cut them to pieces.
Transformers. And then there's the ones that I strapped fireworks to, and they're like partly melted.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
That's what happens to Barbies. So it turns out Barbie is getting cellulite on her ass because her owner in the real world is sad.
Yes.
And so the weird Barbie tells her you have to go into the human world and resolve this sadness, and then your problems will be gone. And then Ken is like, I'm coming with you because I don't serve any purpose. And she doesn't want him to, but he goes.
And her first words are, you're going to slow me down, Ken. I'm like, oh, you don't know where you're going. Oh, God, I hate it.
So they get here to the real world. And Ken wants to become part of the patriarchy because, for the first time in his existence, he is treated with basic fucking human decency. Yeah. For the first time in his life, in the real world. Not in the Barbie world. In the real world, he gets treated with human decency.
The one moment that he kept calling out as like the moment that changed his life was when someone just asked him,
"Excuse me, sir, do you know what time it is?"
Yeah.
They treated me with respect for the first time ever. That's bad because that's patriarchy.
Yes. That is treated as a horrific, bad moment. Like, who's the villain again in this story?
I don't know. So Ken takes off to go back to the Barbie world and bring the patriarchy back with him.
Yes.
Because he tries to take advantage of it in the real world.
Yeah. And that fails horrifically.
Evidently, sorry women, being male isn't enough. It turns out you need actual credentials. Because they tell him most of our decision makers have MBAs and PhDs. Oh, so it's merit-based? Golly.
Who would have thought that?
So he goes back to the Barbie world, and he's going to turn it into a frat boy party house.
So you have all these Barbies who, they're strong-willed, they're strong-minded, they are individuals. Ken took them over in a day.
Yeah.
In one day, he just showed up, and he's like, I'm your daddy. And they were all like, Yes.
They're in bikinis. They're all Hooters girls now.
Yes.
Basically, they're like, it's fucking awesome being a Hooters girl. Oh my God, let's do some fucking shots, Jenny. It's awesome. And Barbie has to go back to the Barbie world to fix the damage that he's done. And he takes America Ferrara and her daughter with her.
Yes.
And they go back and they fix it. How do they fix it? Do you remember? By lying and manipulating their boyfriends to commit violence against each other.
Yes.
In a way that benefits them.
Yes.
That's how they fix the fucking Barbie world and take down the patriarchy. And then they make themselves in charge again, and everything is wonderful. The end.
Yes. What happens to the Kens? They go back to being second-class citizens where they fucking belong.
And then Barbie is like, okay, we fixed it. Fuck it, I'm going back to the real world.
Yeah. Then she leaves.
Leaving this dystopian hellhole for these characters in the Barbie world.
And then she gets a vagina and it's over.
She gets a real vag. Finally.
And that's the story of Barbie.
Fucking shit.
What
were some of the... I mentioned mixed messages.
Yeah. I don't know if this movie is delivering the message that the filmmaker intended.
I don't know what they intended.
Like, if they were intending to do this whole, like, feminism power thing, it's wrong. They went about it weird and wrong, and it's not actually pushing that message.
It's just odd, because Greta Gerwig and the other writer, Noah Baumgartner, they both have serious screen creds.
Yeah.
Like, award nominations, and have done smart, intelligent films. I don't know if this was the studio fucking with shit, or the studio just saying, give the woman free reign to do whatever she wants with Barbie, and she just went off rails with this sloppy, contradictory messaging.
I don't know.
I mean, some of the messages were...
People are going to be like, why are you taking this so seriously? It was a Barbie movie. It was supposed to be silly. If it had been just a silly movie...
No one would give a shit.
No one would give a shit. We wouldn't have given a shit. I probably would have laughed at it and be like, it was a Barbie movie. It's fine. It's whatever. But they're the ones that took it in that direction. They're the ones that decided to stand up on a soapbox and start screaming. And so this is the result.
Oftentimes, in the same scene, sometimes, you get completely contradictory messages.
Yeah.
Right? So the message that this film gave, they touched on so many, but some that stuck out. Motherhood is fucking bullshit.
Yes!
If you choose to be a mother and nurture children, you're a fucking idiot because you ruined your life.
Yeah.
3 scenes later, motherhood is the most noble, proudest role that a mother can take on, that any woman can do. 3 scenes back, girls were smashing their baby dolls because that's only interesting for a little bit while you're a child.
Yes.
Okay. Toxic masculinity is everywhere. And every interaction, 100% of interactions with a man is toxic. A little bit later, toxic masculinity, it turns out, is women's fault. Because they treat Ken like shit, and that's what made him go that route.
Yes.
Okay. Being beautiful is bullshit. Every woman is beautiful.
I'm no longer pretty. You're always pretty. Everyone's pretty. We're all pretty.
Everything.
But no one needs to be pretty.
Everything in the real world is run by a patriarchy where it caters only to men. You just by being a man, you've got every advantage. Ken can't get a job because he doesn't hold a PhD.
Yeah.
Turns out you actually have to work and earn your place into a place of respect.
Yes.
Golly.
Who would have thought that? He couldn't get a job anywhere. Anywhere. He applied at a couple of different places, and they're like, yeah, what can you do?
But I'm a man. Isn't that enough? And the guy told him, no, that's not enough.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? That the patriarchy is bad.
Yeah.
But when it's women subjugating everybody in Barbie Land, that's okay.
It's good. It's fine.
Also, the other message, it's okay to tell gay jokes if it's at Michael Cera's expense.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How the fuck is that okay?
So they brought in Michael Cera as a character, I guess, and man, they make a lot of jokes at his expense. And then he almost has a little bit of an arc where he's trying to escape. And he's like, I just want out. I just need to get out of here. And then they turn around and they take him right back.
Yeah.
And then they forget about him. And he's just like, yep, you're getting thrown right back where you were. Nothing has changed for you. You're welcome. There's so much of this movie that's wrong. And so much of this movie that's just bad. It's just bad.
Barbie?
The whole ending is bad.
God.
The last 30 minutes of this film is almost unwatchable. It's so bad. Because we go from a weird musical number
that lasted for like 40 minutes.
And it felt like it just went on forever, to some weird, they're in the soul realm or something. I don't know. They went into that same world that Harry Potter went into when he died. And so that happened. And then all of a sudden there was, what's her name? She's Danny DeVito's wife.
Rita Perlman.
Rita Perlman shows
Ruth,
up.
The creator of Barbie.
I guess.
She was.
Okay. That was weird. I don't know. It was just all weird. And during like that whole section, the one thing they stopped doing is even trying to be funny anymore.
I found none of it was funny.
All the jokes were gone. And they're like, all right, time for us to take this Barbie movie seriously. Really?
I will disagree with even your finding the first act funny. Every joke fell fucking flat. Except, this is odd. Ryan Gosling has always been an excellent actor. Mm-hmm. I've always like, he's really, really good.
Yeah.
Every fucking joke in the film falls fucking flat, except for his 5 or 6. He's the only one that has any comic timing and that can pull off his pranks.
Yeah.
Every other joke by everyone else, you can tell what joke they're trying to tell. They just fuck it up and it's not funny. It's not fucking funny.
It's the same way that Ghostbusters 2016, like those jokes.
I know what you're trying to do. You just didn't do it well.
You're just not doing it
well. By the way, Barbie and her unrealistic beauty standards have damaged an entire generation of girls. Barbie and her aspirations have inspired an entire generation of girls. Fuck.
Pick a lane, folks.
You want to talk about unrealistic beauty standards? You should insert picture of Ryan Gosling. All you have to do is not eat for a couple weeks. Ryan Gosling has to fucking eat shit that he doesn't like, lift tons of fucking weight, do all kinds of steroids to meet the unrealistic beauty standards that you fucking placed on us. For someone like me, insert picture of me, I'm a stud. I don't fucking mind. But for a generic 15-year-old kid saying, oh my God, that's what I've got to look like to get on Instagram? Fuck. Who's really at fucking fault here?
Exactly.
For pushing an unrealistic beauty standard? Men don't give a shit.
No.
Men don't give a shit.
No.
I have been romantically involved, I shit you not, with women from every fucking variety on earth. I don't care about that superficial shit. Women care about that superficial shit in each other. And that's why women will never break the glass ceiling. They don't get along.
I don't think they're genetically disposed to get along. I don't think they're supposed to.
They are supposed to.
Are they?
Just not with each other. Yeah.
Not with each other. They're supposed to get along with... I don't know. It's weird.
It's the whole thing has gotten weird. The whole fucking thing has gotten weird. This isn't a politics show. I know it's not, but it's hard to not...
It's hard to peel that away from the movie we saw.